Hey guys, Char5 here, and 2017 has come to an end. Um, these recordings are always really hard to make for me, mostly because I do try to go for emotional stuff. You know, I try to make you feel things, all tingly inside, all nice and warm and fuzzy. Whether or not I achieve that is purely up to debate. Damn it, Discord! Shut up! But yeah, I do want to thank every single one of you who have made my 2017 worth going through, because it's something I've discussed on my streams before, and I'm not gonna go into a whole lot of detail into it because there are things that I think that I've talked about before, I've complained about before, and I just don't want to go through with dealing with it again, or, well, it's not really dealing with it, but just complaining about it again. But I do want to, again, reach out to those of you, and you know who you are. You know who you are that have supported me throughout the year by watching not only the Everything Wrong Withs, because, man, I don't know what to do, right? People subscribe for one thing and they only come back for the one thing, and I really don't want to be doing the one thing anymore. Not because it's not fun, but just because it's not me, you know? It's not something I made, and as a result, people don't see me as you know, a person. They see me as, oh, he's not Jeremy, right? I don't have my own identity, unfortunately, but people love it anyway, and it's hard to deal with that, because it's like, okay, well, this is something that is paying the bills and people love it, but I really want to do other things that people would love. That's why I love doing the speed paint discussion videos, but they hardly get any attention. Certainly not as much as the Everything Wrong With, and I wish that they got more attention, because that's more who I am, you know. This is who I am right now, talking to you and thanking you for supporting me and watching this video, watching me say thanks to you. I've noticed that a lot of my audience is very cynical when it comes to, you know, commenting or just speaking or requesting stuff. They don't ask for things, they demand I do them, and it gets hard, right? Because it's like, okay, well, sure, I'll do it, but you could ask a little bit nicer. And that being said, I do think I also have one of the nicest followings as well, because the people that have made an amino, made the Discord, that form a part of them, that sacrifice their time to watch me play a game and hang out with them, and, you know, it's no longer become about me, it's become about them, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love seeing them interact with each other, be friends with each other, work problems out with each other, because as with any social group, they also do have issues that I stay out of, because it's not my place, and I'm terrible with confrontation, and I don't like making other people feel bad by saying, it's your fault, you know, unless they've wronged me, in which case, yeah, I'm kind of a vindictive bitch, but that's not the point. The point is, it was really hard. 2017 was really difficult for me. More, I think, than a lot of other years. 2014, I think, still takes the cake in terms of how difficult that was, because I suffered a lot of loss that year. But this year, I've received a lot of exception, and a lot of new friends, a lot of new followers. I've had success in 2017, despite the hardships, despite everything, you know, for everything bad, there was something good, I think. I had my first panic attack this year, but I also saw my first shooting star this year. And there's such polar opposites of emotions that looking back on them, I wish I could say, oh, I was at a different point in my life, but it's like, no, not really. I mean, I still feel like I'm in the same place. And I try to tell myself that that's not a bad thing. And I don't think you should either, because you may seem stuck. You may think that you have nowhere else to go, nowhere to turn to, no one who will take you in, no one who cares. And with someone with the, I don't like playing this card, but I do feel like it needs to be mentioned. I suffer from anxiety, general anxiety, and I've suffered from it ever since I was a kid. And I try to acknowledge the fact that I have people in my life that care about me and, love me, and I love them, and would do anything for me, and I would die for them. But I realize that sometimes that's simply not enough, And it's not because, like, oh, no, you're not enough, you're not worth it. Like, no, you are worth it, but there's always something missing, because there's always this ambition to be better, to have more, to want more. And that's not necessarily bad, but sometimes it can cloud our vision of what we do have. And I do think that every day, something I do, and I've been doing a lot more recently, is being very thankful that I had another day, that my parents had another day, that the friends I have had another day. Because something you might not know about me is, mostly because I don't talk about it a lot and fear that I might freak someone else out, I have a deadly fear of oblivion, nothingness. I would love it if life went on forever. But I know that one day, billions of years from now, life on this planet is going to end. And even billions of years after that, the universe will stop. So often, and like talking about it during the day, for some reason doesn't faze me, but talking about it during the end of the day creeps me out incredibly. And a lot of people could think of that as a really good thing, meaning like, oh, then, just enjoy life because everything we do is meaningless. And to me, it's just like, well, that's just the thing. It's like, why do we do anything then? Why do we try? Why do we wake up every morning knowing that one day it's all gonna end? But at the same time, it's like I'm at a constant battle with myself, telling myself that's exactly why we get up and do what we do. We try to be the best people we can be, because one day the world's not gonna have us anymore. It's not gonna have good people. And I mean, I don't mean to call myself a good person, but I try to be the best person I can be. I try to be nice to people. I try to be courteous, polite, helpful, because there's no point in not being that. So whenever I hear on the news, so-and-so killed so many people and so many others are injured and hospitalized, it's like, why? I can understand it from a mental disorder point of view, because even anxiety can get so bad that you want to do bad things, but you suppress those feelings. You suppress that emotion. At least I have. And you just you try to do the right thing, or at least the best thing you can. Not everyone's going to agree with you. Not everyone's going to like what you end up doing. And it's going to suck, because sometimes you want certain people to acknowledge the right thing that you did or the good thing that you did. And that's just not the way life works. And you need to learn to love yourself. I don't. But that's beyond the point. There are many reasons why I am not friends with myself. But I do believe in the good of people. I believe that you can find a reason to like yourself, and I will stand up for you from yourself. Like if you say, oh, I'm not a good person. No, bullshit. I know that you can do better. I know that you are a great person and that you are nice and that you can be nice to others and that others care about you. You just have to find it inside yourself, to be nice. Even if you're like me, someone who doesn't really like themselves that much, that doesn't mean you can't make others like you by doing good things. Volunteer for stuff. Put together charities. Help your neighbor by sitting their dog. I don't know. There's no reason to be a bad person. 2017 was riddled with, and I mean, this can be seen as both a good and bad thing, but so many people came out as bad people that we didn't ever think of as like, wow, you would never do that. And they came out to light, They came out and we didn't know how to react. But my idea is, why did that need to happen? Why did they need to be bad people in the first place? I know it might seem like I lost the point or like track of what I was saying, but my point is, this year was really not the best for a lot of people, and I understand why. And even if you think that this is rock bottom, well, the good thing is that there's nowhere else to go but up. We can't go lower than rock bottom. But I don't think it's rock bottom. I don't think we're there yet, and I don't want to see what rock bottom is. So I think that there's still a chance to forgive and climb back up. And I don't think 2018 is going to change that. I don't think 2018 is a reason to be like, oh yes, new year, new me. Everyone says that. I've said it at some point, and that's completely irrelevant because you're going to keep being you. For best or for worst, you're going to continue to be you, but you need to shift. If you want to see, something better in yourself, you need to shift. And that's something gradual. New Year's is not going to change that. You're not reborn. You just continue to be. But you can shift that. You can shift those things that you like or that you don't like. Habits, everything. I've seen it. I've seen it be done, and I've done it myself. And when you're able to do it, it's so gratifying. When it comes to resolutions, if you want to make resolutions, that's good, but make sure you adhere to them. Make sure that you keep them in mind throughout the year. Something that I think we should all do, and I'm going to try to do, I don't know if I'll be able to hold it up on the subject of, keeping up with yourself. I want to write down and put it in a little box. All the good moments, all the good things that happened in 2018. As soon as they happen, boom, just write it down. Because I didn't do it this year, and I wanted to. And right now, I could be reading so many good things that happened. And maybe even write the hardships as well. That might not work as much because maybe you have more hardships than you have good moments. And it'll be, it'll make you feel bad because, oh man, I had more bad moments than I had good ones. But they're just numbers. It doesn't matter how many of one thing you had over another thing. It matters how much weight they have. You could have 20 bad moments and only 5 good ones, but if those 5 good ones were just so good that those 20 bad ones don't matter, that's great. Um, moving is difficult to another country that you haven't been in a long time. Getting used to how things work, because they're very, very different. Realizing you might not be going in the place you wanted to go. I planned out my life, or at least where I'd be right now, when I was in high school, and I am in pretty much the complete opposite. Almost 100%. If I didn't live here, I would be 100% in the complete opposite of where I wanted to be. But it's a process, and you'll get there. You just have to keep your head up and smile. I think those are the two. They're nothing. They change nothing about the way your life is going. But for some reason, those two pieces of advice are the things that have gotten me through so many things this year. Hold your chin up and smile. You're not gonna get the job by doing that. Your stress levels won't go down by doing that. You're not, gonna get into that school because of that. But when hardships happen, sometimes that's all we have left. Because there's no point in crying about it. Crying will make us feel good. Well, it'll make us feel better about it afterwards, but complaining about it isn't going to solve anything. Crying about it isn't going to solve anything. And holding your chin up and smiling isn't going to solve anything. But that last one is a better reaction to anything else. It's more positive. And I think it's a thing that we should all do. And the reason I'm laughing right now is because I saw The Room with Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero recently with some of my friends. We saw it on Christmas Eve to receive Christmas. And despite how much people are talking about that movie, especially now with the Disaster Artist and everything, and despite how insane that film is, there's a line in it that I know that everyone laughs at, but to me it's just like, I don't get why that's such a funny line to everyone, considering I find so much truth in it. If everyone loved each other, and I know it's impossible, I know that everyone loving each other is impossible, but if everyone loved each other, the world would be a much better place. And if we all got along, if we weren't actively looking for everyone else's misfortune, we would definitely lead happier lives. Hardships need to happen because sometimes it's inevitable. We can't all have what we want. Sometimes we want the same thing and there's only one. There's only one of that thing that we want, and someone else is going to get it. And it sucks. That's not something to end it all for. Something to keep trying. It's something that should motivate us. And I don't really want to go on too much longer, but thank you for listening. I hope you had happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, whatever you believe in. And if you don't celebrate, I think you should, because it's not about faith. It's not about religion. It's not about whatever, To me, the holidays no longer means any of that. It means being together. Even if you don't believe in anything, even if you are not a devout religious person, that doesn't mean you can't celebrate the spirit of what those holidays mean. Togetherness, peace and love against or among your fellow man and woman and person. And I hope that if 2017 treated you well, that 2018 treats you even better. And if 2017 treated you terribly, the 2018 has your back. Like I said, just because it's a new year doesn't mean it's going to change anything. But I hope that the events that happened in 2018 are better than the ones that happened this year. Because I'm always going to want that upon you. I'm never going to want, I wish 2018 sucks for you because 2017 was too good for you. No. I'm going to want the next year, the next week, the next month, the next day, everything to be better for you. Because you may not think it, but you deserve it. And it's not even about deserving, it's about earning. You have to work hard for what you want. So, chin up, smile, and I'll see you in 2018. And as always, stay safe and stay awesome.